And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tuesday show at 4 o'clock from East Midlands Airport. There is a Jet 2 just taxied up to the runway. The flight number is LS619 to Dallyman. He is about 28 minutes late. There was just emergency about 10 minutes ago as the fire service is making their way back down the taxiway. But I'm just focusing on the Jet 2 at the moment as it's making its way out of East Midlands. My name is Anthony. This is Anthony's Live Aviation as we're watching this Jet2.com livery aircraft out to Dallyman. This Jet 2 will turn to go south as he's going down to Turkey. And just as I just arrived to film this video, there was an emergency with the DHL 777 what just arrived. They now just left that 777 and returned back to the station at East Midlands. There is an arrival that they're coming now. I will turn to it as it's coming into land. It's a Ryanair. I will let you know where it's come from in a second as he's landing. That Ryanair is just, you just watch land, it's come from Malaga. It's a Boeing 737-8AS. His flight number is FR4459. It's a 17-year-old aircraft. It's been in service since February 2008. The serial number is 36567. Registration is EIDYC. And its registered country is Ireland. The next departure is from East Midlands down to Birmingham. It's a reposition flight. It's a two-way flight going down to Birmingham. The call sign is Tom 4925P. He's making his way up now towards the runway as he's taxiing. As you can see now. And our next arrival is it's delayed at the moment, is Girona. It's the air motor flight. It's supposed to be here at 5:05. He's now here at 17:46. I'm not going to be here for that flight as he's now delayed. I'm going to be here up until about 5:30. So the next departure will be the Dublin. That's the Ryanair flight. The flight number is FR535, and that's a Boeing 737-8AS. This too is now on the taxiway, waiting for his clearance to go down to Birmingham Airport. Once he gets his clearance, he will make his way onto runway 9. As he's making his way now. This one might go up like a rocket because he's got no passengers and he hasn't got that much fuel as he makes his way down to Birmingham. As he now turns onto 09, he might just roll and turn and burn. And there it goes. As I said, this TUI is repositioning down to Birmingham. So he's got no passengers and he hasn't got that much fuel as he's going down towards Birmingham. As this will now turn to go south of the airfield and then it will make its way down towards Birmingham for a 30-minute flight, and then it will land at Birmingham Airport at 16:44. And now turning back onto the airfield as that tourist now just made his way out. Now I'm going back down onto the airfield as we've now got a Dublin flight waiting to come out of departures. That's due now at 4:15. That Ryanair is now up on departures. It's a 9-year-old aircraft. It's registered in Malta, so its registration is 9HQBK. Serial number is 44707. It's due to, is scheduled for 16:15, and at the moment I'm looking down at departures. There's no movement on them two Ryanairs. I don't know which one it is, but once there's movement on them Ryanairs I will let you know. I will say welcome to Anthony's Live Aviation. I'm live at the East Midlands Airport on 13th of May. I'm sorry about the camera movement then, it is a bit breezy again today, especially where I'm stood. I'm trying my best. I'm just waiting for this Ryanair now to push back out. As soon as it does, I will come back to you. At the moment, we have got an helicopter on arrival to East Midlands. I'm going to turn it on as he's just making his way in. It is I think it is an air ambulance. Oh, it's not, sorry, it's not an air ambulance, it's just a 109. It's just making his way in. It is a private helicopter. As it did come into the sun, I thought it was the air ambulance. It's not, it's actually a private helicopter. It's now just dropping down on to the taxiway. Now landed on the taxiway, he's now taxiing. Just looking back down at departures, there's no movement on any of the Ryanairs at the minute. I think that Ryanair might be delayed a little bit, and I will come back to you as and when there is some movement. The Ryanair is now being pushed back. That's the Ryanair to Dublin. He's being pushed back for his estimated schedule at the 16:15 to Dublin. It should be coming up the taxiway shortly. And to the left of me at DHL, there was a 777 that came in earlier on, just before I set up. He's now being unloaded at DHL, and there is, as he's being unloaded, he'll be loaded back up for his next departure, 8 from East Midlands. I'll let you know where that DHL is going a bit later on. That DHL, it's in by the side of me. He is going out to Cincinnati. He's leaving at 10 to 9. And there's also a 767 over on the far side of DHL. As when this Ryanair comes up, I will turn for that 767, because that 767 is also going to Cincinnati later on. But the 777 that came in to East Midlands as I was setting up, it came from Dubai. His flight the call sign was DHK515. He landed at 15:43. He landed just as I was setting up this afternoon. The Dublin flight is pushed back. He is now, as it stands, he is late for his for the 16:15 departure. I'm wondering if he's getting clearance from the tower to make his way up on the for taxiing, or getting new timing for his departure from the tower. Now that's Ryanair is now moving from departures now for Dublin, and making his taxi up to 09. And I will repeat again, his flight number is FR535 to Dublin. Putting a bit of speed as he's coming up from departures. As he's making his way up on the taxiway. Now he's putting a bit of a spurt on as he's coming along. Now just as he's turning onto runway 9, I think he might do a turn and burn. As he is a little bit late for the departure to Dublin. We wait and see if he does a turn and burn. As I said, he's turning and burning. As this flight now makes its way now to Dublin. Now he's making his turn to go north of the airfield, as he's going to go up towards Long Eaton and Derby, as he makes his way to Dublin. And as that Ryanair is now climbing out of East Midlands, he's now making a turn now again. He's now just levelled out as he's just climbing out. He's now just swinging round past where I'm stood at East Midlands. And he's now off to Dublin. Now I'm turning back onto the airfield now. There is a TUI flight. Just pushed back, and that's a Boeing 737 MAX 8. He's off to Kos, one of the Greek islands. It's a 3-year-old aircraft. It was registered in December of 2021. His registration is 44614. Registration is GTUML. His estimated departure is 16:35. It's just been pushed back from his gate. Hopefully he should be making his way up towards the taxiway. His flight number is BY7238. The next flight after that is the Ryanair to Alicante. Is FR4818, and that's a Boeing 737-8AS. That's the aircraft you can see down by the other TUI aircraft. His estimated departure is at 16:50. The TUI aircraft you can see down next door to that Ryanair, he'd be departing at 17:05. It's going to Rhodes, another Greek island. His estimated departure is at 17:05, as I said. It's a Boeing 737 MAX 8. His flight number is BY7246. It's a 6-year-old aircraft. First came into service in January 2019. Serial number is 44648. And it should be coming out to departures very shortly. I'm going to leave you on departures as we wait for this TUI it's going to cost. He should be making his way up soon. I think he's just waiting for the tower to give him permission to taxi. He's now taxiing out of departures. As you can see now on camera. There is a Cessna 152 just coming into land. I'm going to come off this TUI as he's just coming in. It's the East Midlands Flying School aircraft, and I will put you back onto that TUI as he's just glides down onto the runway. As he's down, and I'm back onto that TUI, it's off to Kos. That is a Max 8. I think this too might do a turn and burn on its departure, as it was a bit motoring as it was coming up. Oh, it's actually halted for a minute. Now that's two is now making his way onto the runway. As you can see, there's registration on the back of the plane. And here it goes now down to Kos in the Greek islands of Greece. Now this too is now making its turn. It's got another turn to do as it's going south of the airport. Now she's making another turn now to go south down to Kos in the Greek islands. I'm turning back onto the airfield. As we wait for the next flight. The Ryanair to Alicante is now just pinged up. I'm looking down into departures at the Ryanair. The Ryanair is due to leave Alicante at 16:50. That's 10 to 5. He's now being pushed back out of departures for his taxi up to runway 9. And this Ryanair is off down to Alicante. As this is the flight you can get to Benidorm, which is Benidorm is actually 30 minutes away from Alicante's airport. It's 30 minutes by car, and I think it's about 45 minutes to an hour by bus down to Benidorm from Alicante. And its flight time is 2 hours from East Midlands down to Alicante. As this now Ryanair flight to Alicante is making his way on the taxiway now towards 09. as it makes its way round that aircraft that's parked up down there. I think that aircraft is parked up. I think it's Air Explorer. It's wet lease to Jet 2. Here comes this Ryanair as it's passed in front of that Air Explorer. It's wet lease to Jet 2. I think it's here now for the season. To help with the flights. As they are now starting to get really busy. In 4 weeks' time, up by East Midlands Airport is download, so it's going to be really busy for flights coming into East Midlands, as they estimated about 466 flights coming into East Midlands Airport during that weekend of download, as people making their way in. I'm going to be here during download on Saturday the 14th of June, as I was requested by one of my friends is flying out of East Midlands on the 14th of June to Antalya. This Ryanair, I think, is going to turn and burn as he makes his way down to Alicante. He's turned and burned. And here we go. Flight now it's just left East Midlands is making his way to the south of the airport as he's making his turn south. as he's heading out towards Loughborough, and he will make another turn again to go south towards down to the south coast as he makes his way down to Alicante. The next flight is due to take off is the TUI flight, the MAX 8 to Rhodes. That's due at 17:05 scheduled. He's not pinged up as yet, but when he does ping up, I will put onto the aircraft. As you can see, the aircraft is still in departures at the moment. He's not even been pushed back. As we're looking at this Alicante flight as he's making his way south of the airfield. I think he's going to go down south towards Coventry, in between Coventry and Birmingham, and then he would turn again down towards Coventry, and then head straight down towards the coast as he makes his way out to Alicante. And there she goes. Now I've turned round, we've got this Boeing 777, I should say, being loaded up at DHL. He's been loaded up ready for his departure a bit later on. The TUI aircraft has now been pushed back out of departures. That is going to be my last flight of the day today. Sorry, it's been a short one because it hasn't. There was a bit of traffic on the road as I was coming out to East Midlands. Because as I was coming out towards East Midlands on the bus, there was a motorway closure, so there was a bit of traffic as I was coming out towards Castle Donington. I'll leave you having a look at that DHL being loaded up. As you can see there over at DHL, the scissor lift is loading up the into the back of the aircraft, all the crates. As you can see, the crates are all lined up ready for the scissor lift to go up and down onto the aircraft. That two is now just come up on radar. It's just been pushed back out of its gate. He's now making his way to the taxiway. As I can see him, I'm going to turn off this DHL in a second. As you can see now, the scissor lift is now pushed up these crates that's going into the back of the aircraft. And if you look at the crates are a funny shape. It's because they sit inside the aircraft, and because of the shape of the aircraft, them boxes sit nicely inside. But, so they don't touch the inside of the aircraft as it's flying, because they get ratcheted down inside the aircraft. I'm going to turn around now as this too is now taxiing up. This too is now off to Rhodes, down in the Greek islands. As I think this plane is going to do a turn and burn. And this flight is about 4 hours 15 down to Rhodes. As that tree is making its way up behind the trees, it's now up into the air as it makes its way to roads. This is the last departure now for a while, so this will be my last plane of the evening. And she's now turning out to go out towards Loughborough. And as she gets out towards Loughborough, she will turn again over Loughborough. As she's doing now. And then from Loughborough she will turn again to south at the airfield. I'm losing a bit of focus at the moment with the camera. She's gone out of focus now. I'm going to turn the camera around back to this DHL for a few minutes as it's been loaded up. Just as I get the camera ready so you can see the DHL. There's the DHL plane being loaded up at the moment. There's no arrivals or departures at the moment. So I'll leave you to watch a bit of this DHL to be loaded up for 5 minutes before I close this video out for this afternoon. and I will be back up here again on Saturday the I will be back up here on Saturday the 17th of May. I will try and be here a bit earlier, as I know there's going to be a bit of traffic about, so I'll try to be here as early as I can. I'm sorry it's only a short show today. I can't help the traffic, but I'm sorry. But Saturday I'm hoping to be a bit longer, and we'll have a good show then. I'll leave you 5 minutes with this aircraft as it's being loaded up, and I will talk to you to end this show. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony. Thank you for watching my show at East Midlands Airport. I will be back here on Saturday the 17th of May. I'm hoping to be early, on Saturday. I will let you know the timings of me being here in a post on my YouTube channel. I don't know what time I'd be here on Saturday, so I'll let you know. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and view my channel. It will be nice if I get more subscribers. Thank you very much from me, and see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.